And hello there, it's Dr. Brenda. Today we have got this fantastic workshop. Now, a couple of things before we begin. I do these workshops live, but I record just the presentation only, and I do that for several reasons. One is to give you the complete confidentiality to ask any questions you please, to talk about your personal finances, your ideas, and to give you that confidentiality so that is not recorded. Another reason is, hey, my background is an RV. I'm traveling the country, and there are oftentimes technical glitches that happen when I go live. So this way I get to pre-record it and no technical glitches. And the third reason is that this allows you to plow through the information very quickly. Let's get started on how to research and invest in a side hustle. So if you haven't downloaded the Side Hustle Navigator, please do so. That's going to walk you through the steps from idea generation all the way to, hey, this is my launch plan. Now, a side hustle is a way to make extra cash that allows you to pursue your interests without quitting your day job. So it's in addition to your regular job. And that's the really neat thing about a side hustle is you shouldn't be investing a whole lot of money or a whole lot of time, but it's something that you're doing because you're interested in, and eventually it will bring in some extra money. And in some cases, some side hustles have taken off to the extent that individuals quit their day jobs to spend all of their time on their side hustles. But it's a great starting point to explore different opportunities and get yourself going. Best ideas. You know what? Let's not reinvent the wheel here. Go to Side Hustle School and Side Hustle Show. The podcast, the write ups, those are the two best sources of information and all kinds of examples. You might have a great idea. Well, maybe somebody's already tried that idea. It will the podcasts in particular are fascinating because they'll walk you through the steps. What did each person learn on their way, on their journey? What worked? What didn't work? How do I market my stuff from idea all the way to making profit? This is this download with the clickable links. I'm going to download this in a PDF so you will have access to this, so you don't have to go searching for anything now. And if you have your Side Hustle Navigator, open it up. Let's play around with it and start filling it out. So a side hustle is not for everybody, and it's partly based on where you are in your timeline. I mean, I've had hobbies while I was working full time, but it was a very high stress career. Didn't have a lot of time, was a single mom, and for a long time couldn't really start a side hustle. And that's cool. You can still have those ideas and jot down what it is you want to do, and eventually when you do get time or you make more time, you can start those side hustles. But know the pros and cons before you go in. Obviously, the big pro is, hey, I'm going to make some money, but there are other things to think about. This is a way to develop new skills. You might be doing something you enjoy, which usually tops what you're doing at the workplace. It gives you the freedom. You get to explore all kinds of different options that might work for you. It gives you an income after you leave the job. A lot of side hustles, you end up creating new friends in that field, and it's your own gig. It's something you can be proud of. It's very rewarding. Now, the cons, it is going to eat into some of your time. There is no guarantee it's going to succeed. Now, just going to tell you this. It's all about experimentation. So don't freak out if your first side hustle doesn't succeed. It may take several side hustles before you find the right audience, the right knack, the right product, the right service. It's okay. But that is a con. So you got to be persistent here. It is going to cost some money to start and to run, and ideally not much money. And it may require skills that you don't have. You might have to outsource some of those skills. If it gets to be really profitable you might need help with accounting and taxes. That would be a nice problem to have, quite honestly. It does require self-promotion, so if you're not all that great at it, understand that is going to work against you. Again, you can outsource some of those things to get some help promoting it. And you may have to set up a formal business. A lot of people end up starting an LLC, limited liability corporation, for their entrepreneurship. And it's not a big deal, but it is one of the cons. So just, think about the pros and cons. And I mean, you're here because you are interested in the side hustle. So don't talk yourself out of it. Okay? Don't talk yourself out of it. I want you to think about what kind of a hustler you are, because it's going to make a difference in how much effort you put into this. And emergency hustlers, somebody's like, you know what? I've got a bill. It's $1,000. I need to make $1,000 in the next couple of weeks, and then I'm done. So it's just kind of a one-time deal to pay off for some type of emergency. Car needs to be fixed. Something's going on in your life, emergency. You need some quick inflow of cash. That's different from a financially responsible hustler. Those are oftentimes people who are pursuing my favorite, financial freedom. And it's about getting some extra money to pay off debt, to do some of the things to save more money. That's the financially responsible hustler. And that's a great plan to increase your income. Make it rain hustler. These are folks who want the extra money for fun. So maybe you want to take this trip next year and this fantastic vacation, and you'd like to find a way to pay for it. That's the make it rain hustler. A freelance hustler, this is kind of in your blood. You kind of like, you got your job, but your mind is constantly going. So you want to see how you could turn this into a freelance gig. Exploratory, maybe I can find something that works for me. Maybe I can check out all these different things and see what works for me. But it is you're exploring all of your options. A career shift hustler, you're going into this because you'd really like to learn some new skills, some new stuff that might help you shift your career. So get a feel for what kind of hustler you are, and that's going to help you figure out, is this a short-term gig? Is this something I'm only going to do every so often? Or is this something I want to become part of my life, this side hustling thing? You have three considerations in terms of success. What are the most successful side hustles? Three things. If you can tap into at least one of these three things, you got something good going. One is a niche market. So there's such a small niche that there's a demand. It's not a big demand, but there aren't many suppliers. So you don't have a lot of competition. Another is service, because when's the last time you had to call your cable company, your phone company, or any company, and you wait on hold, you go through those buttons, and you can't reach a live person? And I don't know about you, but I'm just fuming. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Customer service is terrible. So you might be offering a product that somebody can buy online at a big company, but your thing is the customer service. You're actually going to walk them through how to set things up. You're going to be responsive. You're going to accommodate them. You're going to go the extra mile to provide customer service. The other thing is time. Are you doing something that's going to save other people time? So people have moved into meal deliveries. There are even folks who, clean up your dog poop from your yard, house cleaning, dog walking. What is going to save me time? So if people are more and more thinking, you know what, my time is precious. If I can pay somebody to do this, it's worth it for me. Cutting the grass, taking care of the lawn. Those are all time savers, things that people can do themselves. Most of them can do themselves, but they just don't want to take the time for it. So those are the three things that are really critical in setting up a fantastic side hustle. So let's talk about the steps. And I go through 7 steps in the Side Hustle Navigator. The first is just, how interested are you? Gauge your interest. Level of 1 to 10, I'm super interested. I'm not interested at all. I'm somewhere in the middle. So gauge your interest. Decide what kind of hustler you are. Are you that rainy day hustler? Are you the emergency hustler? Do you thinking about this as a career shift? The third piece is do your research. So find several appealing side hustles and go to those 2 side hustle links that I gave you, those podcasts, those quick little write-ups of side hustles. Go there and do some research and write down several of them that are something that you can do, or you can use that as a model to do your own thing. The fourth thing is document the resources and the costs. What am I going to need to get this thing started? How much is it going to cost? How much is it going to cost to keep it going? The fifth thing, how are you going to beat the competition? So take a look at what the competition does, how much they charge, whether there's competition. Are you doing something locally where there's not a lot of competition? Are you trying to do something online where it seems like everybody's online now? So know what is going to make you unique. What's going to make you unique that's going to help you beat the competition? Draft a goal. Draft a smarter goal. I specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time driven, build in rewards, evaluate every so often, build a goal that works for you and stick with it, an action plan that's going to help you get from here to there. And then the last thing, I want you to pitch your side hustle. So pretend you've got somebody who's, maybe they fit your target audience, a friend, someone you can practice on, and say, hey, here's what I'm thinking of doing. I'm going to create this side hustle. This is what it's going to do. This is what it's going to do for you. This is what I'm going to charge. What do you think? So pitch your side hustle. Those are the 7 steps. Go into the Navigator, work through these, and this is a place for you to write down your ideas. And you don't need to be a particular expert. You don't have to have a credential after your name. Side hustles are open to everyone, but you got to have ideas. So generate some ideas. Maybe have a side hustle party. You got a friend who's thinking about side hustles. You got a friend who's just open to the idea. Sit down and have a brainstorming session. Think about the ideas. Okay, you got to invest some money into making this happen, and it doesn't have to be a lot. And it partly depends what kind of side hustle you're going for. So I've got an interview with a friend of mine, 2 friends, who started an Etsy store. It's vintage. They set up vintage shops. So they love antiquing. They love go to these shops. So they were buying things anyway. But now, once they started to create those shops and sell products, they had to go in there thinking, how much are we going to invest and how much are we going to get back from this? So if you've got a product, you've got to start investing, purchasing some of those products. Now, a service industry where, maybe you're cutting grass, maybe you're offering photography services, maybe you already have all the equipment you need, you've got everything going for it, but maybe you need to just get some flyers out. You want to put up a website or a Facebook page. You want to, a lot of this you really don't need to have a lot of time or money for. Word of mouth does wonders. If people want your services and they're happy with it, they will tell their friends. So especially if you're local, that works to your advantage. But think about investing and line this up in terms of, this is what it's going to cost me to launch. So you might, you can jump into a side hustle like this, but most people, and what you should have is a launch plan. This is what I'm going to do here, and on this date, I'm going to officially launch it. That do not make things perfect. They will never be perfect. That's the biggest threat to your success, is waiting until it's perfect. So you've got it, but at the same time, plan. You can't just jump into this. So get a date, get a target date and work backward from that date. Do you need any more skills? Do you need to get some training in how to do something? Are you selling a product that has inventory? What about graphic design? Are you going to do some business cards or flyers or ads on Facebook or Instagram, or what can you do? What are your graphic design capabilities, or do you need to invest in somebody doing that for you? Photography, if you've got a food related business, especially photography is critical. So can I hire somebody out to make those really good photos? Marketing and advertising, that's the big one. Again, that doesn't come typical for people, and think small when you're first starting. Try to reach out person to person to person and have some organic growth rather than starting with some expensive ad that's not hitting your right target and that's blowing your budget. But market and advertise organically on your own, social media, whatever you got going for yourself. Do you need any equipment and supplies? So those are the types of things to think about when you're initially launching. Get a price tag there. Once it's up, what are your ongoing operations? And I can tell you, as a side hustler, my ongoing operations are pretty low in terms of expenses. I've got software that I need to upgrade or maintain. Sometimes I've got membership fees that every month I'm paying into a membership fees. If you have an inventory, you've got to maintain that. I choose not to have inventories. And when we get into the next workshop, we're going to talk about some of those things that you can do, publish books and make t-shirts without having the inventory. So we're going to talk about that in the next workshop. Maybe you've got virtual assistants to help you with social media, or to help you with the accounting, to help you with certain things. There are virtual assistants now everywhere. It's mind-blowing. You can buy someone's services to do just about anything. Do you need any help with accounting or business? Sometimes it can be helpful to meet with a business coach, just to help you get started, depending on what you're doing. So think about those price tags, write things down in your Side Hustle Navigator. I want to stress this. Don't go borrowing money for a side hustle. Don't do it. This is your side hustle. If you don't have the money now, raise the money, make the money, save the money, put the money aside. And I'm talking, $1,000 or less. You should be able to do this on $1,000 or less. It's your investment. It's your time. It has to have meaning to you. You go out, borrow somebody else's money. First of all, it's like, what do you have invested in it? Nothing. Got some time, but you're blowing somebody else's money. And then you've got, it should be a loan. This is not a gift. Don't accept gifts. Don't accept loans. Use your own money to start a side hustle. So I can't emphasize that enough. It's your side hustle. It's your money. The profit belongs to you as well. Think about it that way. Now, I want you to start off really, really strong. 24 hours. You got to do something in 24 hours. Take one action step in the next 24 hours to launch a side hustle. It could be going through some of those podcasts and narrowing it down to your top 3 ideas. It could be looking at your account and figuring out, how am I going to come up with $500 that I could really use to do this? It could be writing down your side hustle goal. I want to do this by this date, and this is how it's going to happen. Do it in 24 hours. Don't lose the urgency. Okay. Now, if you've got ideas, let me know in the comments below. You have any questions, let me know. And this is something that I know you can do. Our next workshop is scheduled for September 21st. We're to go through some popular and profitable side hustles. I also have, sort of 4 case studies that I'm going to just walk you through. and show you how some people have made money. And we'll go into some of the nitty-gritty, but let's go into the popular and profitable side hustles. So be ready for that live workshop, September 21st. And again, all of these workshops, if you can't join us live, you can access all of the recordings when you become a member of GutsyWomenFinances.com. In there, I have the Financial Freedom Academy, a full-blown course. It's going to take you step by step, everything you need to do to reach financial freedom, to reach financial independence, so you can spend your days doing whatever you want to do. Okay, now it is Side Hustle September in Gutsy Women Club. Every month we move to a new theme. Keep it lively, keep it going, keep your hustle going. All right, that is it for today, and I hope to see you in one of my live workshops. You guys take care now. So long.